Hi, thanks for staying with us. I'm Jenny Crow. A public information workshop about a proposed traffic calming policy is coming up. Heath Stocton is here. He is a transportation engineer with the City of Port St. Lucie. You're going to tell us more about this workshop.
Yeah, it's
the public is invited.
Yeah, absolutely. We're trying to get input on the policy. You know, that's the main reason we want the policy to be vetted with the public. First of all, you know, we don't want to come out and say this is what's happening. You know, it's their city as much as it is, you know, ours, and so we want their input on how we're gonna implement this policy.
Okay.
And you know, some of the stipulations as to how they can get traffic calming in their neighborhood, if that's you know, if that's something they wanted to pursue.
Okay. And what does traffic calming entail? It could be any number of things.
Yeah, there's a lot of different components that go into traffic calming. I think at its most basic level, it's physical improvements that will, in a sense, make a neighborhood more livable, lower speeds, more pedestrian friendly, things like that.
Okay.
It's kind of what we're looking at. You know, typically in the city you would see roundabouts,
Okay.
speed tables. To a lesser extent, mostly in parking lots, you'll see speed bumps. You know, things like that. That again try to decrease the speed, make it more walkable, more livable, and
Okay.
that sort of thing.
Stop signs too, or?
No, stop signs typically aren't used for traffic calming or speed control.
Okay.
They're used more at intersections to decrease the potential for accidents.
Okay.
And so they're not typically used. You know, in some of the manuals we go by tell us to try to stay away from using stop signs for speed control when possible.
Okay. Okay. When is this public information workshop?
It's going to be November 12th, which is a Wednesday, 5:30 to 7:30 at the Community Center on
Okay.
Arosa Boulevard, just across from City Hall. We'll have displays, some drafts of the plan, comment cards, plenty of staff there to address questions, answer questions, take comments, you know, go over the policy, go over some of the different diagrams. We're showing some of the traffic calming measures that we could use, speed
Okay.
tables, speed bumps, and so forth and so on.
Okay. And I imagine every situation is different, so that's why you want to sort of have a policy and a procedure in place to see if.
Yeah, absolutely. We within the department, we get a lot of requests for traffic calming throughout the city.
Okay.
And so we look at them on a case-by-case basis and see if, you know, it is warranted or if it would benefit the neighborhood. But like you say, every case is unique and every case is different.
Right.
So we want to kind of standardize the process, and that's what this policy is going to help us do. It's going to, first of all, outline a 9-step process that you go through to ultimately get traffic calming.
Okay.
But it also gives guidelines as far as speeds, volumes, and various things that would say, okay, well, maybe this neighborhood would work a little better than this neighborhood, you know, because the speeds aren't as great or the volumes aren't as great.
Okay.
Given our limited budget, we have to try to address maybe the greater concerns as opposed to willy-nilly putting traffic calming all over the city.
Right.
and wasting, you know, money that could be better spent elsewhere. So we have to be responsible in that and look at really the worst case scenarios and try to address those first.
You mentioned budget. I imagine, I mean, traffic circles, they're expensive to build, right?
Yes, traffic circles can be very expensive. And that's probably going to be one of the lesser used traffic calming,
Right.
just because of the expense. I mean, for example, due to right-of-way acquisitions and so forth, the traffic circle can cost from $250,000 to $1 million.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and you know, we just as a city don't have that kind of money right now.
Right.
And you know, we'll look at speed tables and that sort of thing, which
Okay.
are significantly cheaper, and you know, may not achieve the same goal, but they will address some of the concerns as far as speeding and cut through
Okay.
traffic and that sort of thing.
A speed table is just sort of a longer version of a speed bump,
It's
if you
exactly
will?
what it is. Yeah, it's
Okay.
it's based,
More like a table.
It's just like a table.
Hence the
yeah.
name. Okay.
To give you a visual, a speed table can be used as a crosswalk. So you would have, you know, the crosswalk at an intersection will be raised maybe 6 inches
Okay.
for the width of the crosswalk, and then, you know, by striping, you know, the speed table becomes a crosswalk. And so, one, it alerts you to pedestrians, and then two, it forces you to slow just because of the vertical change.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a couple different benefits just from that, and I imagine much more cost effective, and so that's a good.
Yeah, absolutely, much more cost effective. I mean, I think speed tables, depending on contract prices, but speed tables are $10,000 to $15,000, something
Okay,
like that.
there
so
you
that's
go.
yeah,
That
so it's
sounds
a lot
better.
more doable.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a lot more doable.
Okay. If someone can't make it to this public meeting, but they still want to give input or they have ideas or suggestions, can they still contact you?
Oh yeah, we have several avenues.
Okay.
One is on the city homepage. You can go in. There's a little blurb there about, kind of generally what we're doing. There's also a link there. You can download the traffic calming policy,
Okay.
review it, and then we have an email address set up. I think you have the email address.
Yes, it is TCPComments@cityofpsl.com, and TCP stands for Traffic Calming Policy. So TCPcomments@cityofpsl.com.
Right. So if you can go to the website, download the document, or you can stop by the engineering department in Building B and pick up a copy. We'd be glad to give you one there. You take it home, fill out a comment card, drop it off, email your comments, however you would like to do that, just so we get everyone involved.
Absolutely, that's a great idea. Like you said, instead of just kind of presenting and saying, okay, here's what we're going to do, to really get the public involved, I think it's definitely a good idea.
Yeah, absolutely. And that came through the council too. We wanted them to take a look at it, our city council, make sure that they're on board with what we're trying to do, and then after that, get the public input, and then make sure that everyone has a voice. It's a lot easier to implement these kind of changes if everyone has a voice and has a say in the policy that's going before them.
Absolutely, absolutely. Can you just give us the date and the time and the location one more time, please?
Yeah, it's going to be Wednesday, November 12th,
Okay.
5:30 to 7:30 at the community center, which is on Oroso, just across from City Hall.
Okay, perfect. And again, that information is on our website, on our calendar. It's listed there, and you can download the policy from there as well.
Or like I say, or you can stop by and pick it up. We'll gladly give you a copy.
B.
Yep. We'll gladly give you a copy. Or we have comment cards there that you can sit down and actually review it and read it there.
Okay, that's great.
Yep.
That's great. Okay, thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for
I
having
really
me.
appreciate it. This is a very important issue, and hopefully people will come out and participate and definitely give their input and suggestions.
I hope so.
Yeah, so Heath Stocton, transportation engineer, thank you so much for being here. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right.
Yep.
And we'll be right back after these messages.